I know I read this letter recently on the internet, but I'm just going to read it one more time to myself this time and take it with me before I take myself and my kindness out into the cold, cold, cold world of Neenah, Wisconsin. It's chilly out there, snow on the ground. Usually it's me that's writing the letters. So it's nice to see other people in the world sharing kindness in an old-fashioned way in this modern, cold, cold world. I'm a little bit ahead of schedule today. I ran into a gentleman I call Alfredo, even though that's not his name, on his bicycle fighting to stay warm today, and offered to get him a cup of coffee today here at the Great Harvest Bread Company. It opens up in about 8 minutes or so, so I got a little bit of time on my hands before that happens. I still have a little bit of coffee left in my Captain America bottle. I'm going to take a swig of that now, but Alfredo said there's a lady that needs some help down by the hospital today, so I might have to trek over to Theta Clark after I'm done here. We'll see what the day holds, but I've eaten a lot of bread from Great Harvest Bread Company. In fact, I have a loaf of it in my little bag here, honey wheat, so I don't know how much they charge for a cup of coffee there. Hopefully it's not as ridiculous as Starbucks, because they, $10 for a cup of coffee. Well, that's just, that's just showing off. Kind of like Forrest Gump's mom said, if you're paying $10 for a cup of coffee, you're showing off to the world. So, I owe the world a story. And more importantly, I owe a young gentleman named Brecken a story about a bakery. And the fact that I have a letter taped to my wall from Caitlin, who's also has a sister named Lindsay, and some bunnies named Marshmallow and Waffles, makes me think it's time to write that story about the bakery. And if I am a paying customer in there, heck, maybe I could do a little bit of writing in there today. Mr. Gurr is in the right place today. I asked the good people here at the Great Harvest Bread Company if filming was allowed in their store, and they said the one thing that is a no-no is you cannot film their recipes. But other than that, it's all good. So I'm having a little bit of coffee here today. It's not as good as my wife's coffee, not even close. But I got to give some $2 bills, and I got to meet a lovely lady named Andrea here. She's the head baker at Great Harvest Bread Company. So I think I'm going to take a couple sips of coffee. I think I'm going to pull out one of my notebooks, and I think I'm going to enjoy the warmth of kindness and generosity here at Great Harvest and start working on that story for a young man named Brecken. Well, the warmth of the coffee is gone. There's a little bit of sip left in the bottom of it. But Mr. Gurr is feeling mighty warm. Now, there are 3 gentlemen sitting to my immediate left, and they have their Bibles open, and they're talking about God right here in broad darn day in a bakery. Feels good to serve others. Coffee is still surprisingly warm in the Captain America bottle. I'm walking around a little bit thinking about what I want to do next. The three gentlemen that were sitting next to me with their Bibles, their notebooks, praying for each other and praising God. Well, when they got up to leave, I kind of interrupted their exodus from the bakery to thank them for being so inspiring, and they didn't know how to take that from a complete stranger. When you're sitting with a group of people and openly praising God and speaking about God, you kind of have credibility. When you're standing alone in front of the statues and monuments and the binary messages of the world, people look at you like you're mentally ill. So I'm going to do something. I think that, I don't know how the good people at the bakery are going to take it. I'm going to ask them for a favor, and I'm going to see if they will help me out, seeing as I'm legitimately now a paying customer. I have a hard, fast rule. I do not like spending more than $2 on a beverage. And a cup of coffee was $2.52. So Mr. Gurr kind of went outside his comfort zone a little bit. But that extra 50 cents, I carry that around in my shoe just in case of emergency. So $2 plus the 50-cent piece in my shoe. I think the total might have been exactly $2.50 because they're doing away with pennies. So I kind of lucked out. How about that? Things happen for a reason. So I'm going to go back into the Great Harvest Bakery and see what happens. Sometimes my bravery is rewarded. Sometimes things just don't work out the way you want it to. I went into the Great Harvest Bakery and asked, "Do you guys have ketchup?" Sadly, they have honey mustard and other condiments, but they do not have any ketchup packets inside of the Great Harvest Bread Company. I know they serve sandwiches there. And where there are sandwiches, there might be ketchup. Like I was telling them about my Uncle Jeff, how he puts ketchup on absolutely everything. Fish sticks, ham, ice cream, chocolate cake. There's some people out there that are just hardcore ketchup fans. So maybe, just maybe someday down the road, I'll stumble into the Great Harvest Bread Company and there'll be 2 ketchup packets waiting for me. If that day ever happens, I'm gonna make the most of that. I'm back following the binary path towards the YMCA. I believe I'm gonna end up going to the YMCA 3 times today. 3 times. So I'm gonna go there now, just after 8 o'clock in the morning. The sun's up. It's definitely warming up with the sun up now. I'm gonna go there later with my wife Andrea and my son of Gurr, and we're gonna exercise together, and then I'll cap off the evening by returning one final time to take my son Gabriel swimming. So Mr. Gurr is gonna spend a lot of quality time at the YMCA. I talked to the young man I call Alfredo about getting a membership at the Y. Being able to go inside and take a warm shower, and rest, and warm up, exercise, and try to stay healthy. It's very, very, very important. When the world gets a little bit colder, you got to work a little bit harder each day to survive. That's the poem that I'm going to hopefully share at St. Paul's in a little bit after I'm done seeing if they have any ketchup at the YMCA. I think they serve hot dogs there, so where there are hot dogs, there are bound to be some ketchup packets. So hopefully Mr. Gurr can catch up on some good stuff today, because I have been working my mind off like crazy, planting my skill trees and pruning them all week. It feels good to be outside, stretching the soul a little bit today. You got to make sure that the mind, the body, and the soul all get a workout each and every day. Well, I saw this police car, waved it down before I made my way to St. Paul's to write my poem. I wonder if they went inside, because I can hear by the sound of the metal contracting that the vehicle just stopped running. I wonder which of Nina's finest is here. And do you think that I would be embarrassed or ashamed or think I was doing anything that involved wrongdoing strolling up to the sidewalk here? You can kind of see the faint color smears of where my poems used to be. And well, the heart of kindness isn't going away anytime soon here at St. Paul's. Now, I don't know when the temperature is going to get cold enough to open up the warming shelter here at St. Paul's, but when it does, I'm going to be here. Well, the police are here today at St. Paul's Church because there was a car accident. Luckily, no one was hurt, but sadly, Julie, the administrative chief here at St. Paul's, got into an accident. Someone hit and run her car. And that is just a bad, bad feeling, because, you know, when people do you wrong and then run away from it, well, that's kind of the opposite of what Mr. Gurr stands for. So, yeah, watch for cars, people. Now, part of me wants to go into the church and talk to Miss Julie about the accident and ask her how much her deductible is for the car insurance, because she's going to be paying some money out of pocket probably to get her new car fixed, which just sucks. And I don't know how much a church administrator makes these days, but everybody, police officers, church administrators, wandering poets, the sidewalk chalk on their hands, well, times are tough for everybody these days. But I think if I offered, say, hey, Miss Julie, I think that my benefactor, my beloved Andrea Mary, would be happy to pay for your deductible for your car so it can get fixed up shiny and new, that would not be well received. I think that would just probably make me even more an eyesore when I come to St. Paul's Church doing what I do with my sidewalk chalk. But so I'm not gonna make that offer, even though I really want to, because money is not gonna solve the world's problems. Kindness. Mr. Gurr is all in, 110% on kindness, making the world a better place. Souls start struggling to survive when the world turns bitter and cold. You will never feel more alive offering out warm hands to hold.